if your KDP books aren't selling, we're going to fix it in this video, or we're going to do the best we can to fix it. I've got some simple hacks that you can try right now to turn those books around if possible. Okay, my name's Jace Perry. I make money self-publishing books on Amazon KDP. My best month was $50,000 with a $21,000 profit. I've documented my whole journey on Amazon KDP in my Instagram below if you want to check me out. Okay, so I know the frustration. You upload a book, you think it's going to sell, like you're so sure it's going to sell, and then it doesn't sell. And at the time when you're making it, you're excited about making it. You've created a book, you're all excited, you put it up there, it's not selling. Before you know it, it's a forgotten thing, and all that work and effort you've gone into it, it's gone down a drain, and then you kind of don't want to do anything with that book because it's kind of like you give up on it, don't you? Well, I've got some quick hacks for you to try right now. See, I'm about simple, guys. I was sitting there thinking about what's the simplest thing you can do right now. So you could literally open up your KDP while we're talking, do it, and try and get sales. Okay, so I'm putting my mind into the times when my books didn't sell. Like, I haven't not sold a book in like 41 books published, by the way, because I follow my system. Okay, but I'm putting myself in your shoes where you've published a book. Maybe you didn't know about niche research. Maybe you didn't know about title and covers, title, choosing the right title and the cover. And I was thinking, you've got this book now. You might as well not just give up on it. You might as well try something, okay? So the first thing we can try is the description. Try and change the description first. All right, I'm going to call this get book. Get book? Get sales. Let's call it fix book. Get sales. I'm just making this up, by the way. All right. First things first, description. You can literally do that right now in 5 minutes. When you do the description, make sure you change it to a headline that talks to your customer. So whoever the book's for, think about that customer. Put yourself in that customer's shoes as if you were that customer, and just imagine you're looking at your own book. What would the description headline need to say for you to read the next line? All you want in the headline is for them to read the next line. Okay, what are you going to say to them? Normally open up with a question, something that talks about, here's what, look, it's like copyright in 101. You want to make them aware of a problem or something that your book solves. So if you're just say your book solves sciatica or back pain, okay, you want the question to make them aware of their sciatica that they might have had for years. It's like, do you adjust your life around your back pain? Now, someone that's suffering from back pain is going to read that and think, shit, that's me. I do adjust my life. Are you fed up of adjusting? Are you fed up of arranging your life around your back pain? You know, do you want to, and then the next line will be, do you want to like get to the bottom of this, fix this now and get on with your life? They're going to be like, yes, give me the solution in this book, blah, 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 blah. I'll show you in 5 ways you can fix your back pain. I'll show you the benefit. You want to talk about the benefits. Okay, did you know that there's 10 simple techniques you can do that people use to fix their back pain in XYZ? You know what I mean? I'm going a bit over the top. Obviously, make sure you are talking about what's in the book. But you can see, you want to make them aware. You want them to know that you understand their problem or issue so that they can think like, yes, that is me. And then you say, this book's for you. Now, if your book's like an activity book, or something that's not solving a problem, but then it's still got you still got to think about the benefit. So an activity book, what's the benefit of an activity book? Why would someone like you buy an activity book? I mean, just think, the last activity book you bought or bought as a gift, why did you buy it? So you want to hone in on that reason and put it there. So if the last activity book you bought as a gift for a friend because you wanted a gift under $20 and your friend's interested in sports or something, you say, are you looking for a low price gift with loads of sports value for someone that loves sports? Something like that, you see? So always think about the benefit with the headline, think about the benefit they're going to get, think about the problem you want to make them aware of so your book can solve it. Okay, the book has got to sell the benefit. Okay, so once you've got the headline, then you move on to selling. Damn, I swear my handwriting just gets worse and worse in these videos. Selling. You know, it's confusing me because the screen is slightly lagged. So when I'm writing, I'm looking at it and it's like, it's not following. But anyway, selling benefits and show features. Show features. Like, have you got 500 puzzles in the book? Have you got 10 stories in the book? Is your book written by someone that knows about back pain? By a doctor? By a well blah blah author? The feature. I don't remember, the benefits is why people are gonna buy it. Why does it benefit that person? And a lot of this is just putting yourself into the customer's head. Just think about the last book you actually bought when you're scrolling on Amazon and why you bought it. Okay, when you can get in the mind of how customers think and why they would actually buy your book, then you can literally sell a book just with the description. Obviously the cover and title matter, but the description. So this is the first thing you need to try. If you've got a book right now that's not been selling or not selling as well as you want, tweet, and you think you can improve the description, like obviously some of you have already done this, you think you could do a better copywritten description, do it, because you can do that right now. Let's have some coffee. You can do that right now. It's got zero friction in this one. It's very easy done. Don't use AI apart from to help. I'll put something. No AI, just to help. You wanna put your head into the mind of the customer and think, what would it take to convince you? You want to copyright. So study a bit of copywriting, just 101, basic stuff. There is some GPTs, copyright GPTs, but even they're not that great. Sorry, there's a massive wasp on my bloody window here. Just thinking, sorry, I don't like killing wasp, but this one is massive, and he's probably gonna. Oh, sorry, dude. Sorry, and you know, I did promise myself I wouldn't edit these videos, so you're gonna get that. But I'm out in Mauritius, and sorry, it's not a wasp, it's a hornet, and they're about this big, man. That thing comes and stings me. That's it, man. But sorry, I don't like killing insects, but I have to. I'm recording. So anyway, think copyright, and like I was saying, I've tried some copyright GPTs, and they're not that great. I don't know what it is about AI. It doesn't quite get it. So use AI, yes, but only to help you think. And remember, you want to keep it simple. Everything you need to say, everything and no more. No more and no less. Don't start waffling. Get to the point. Tell them the benefits, and then give a call to action at the bottom. Buy this book. Okay, so that's the simplest thing you can action right now. All right, I'm just trying it, but does not guarantee you're going to get sales, because there could be some underlying issues further down. But it's worth a try before you give up on the book. Description is very easy, because so if some of you can't be asked to do much more, you just want to give that book one more try, I would change the description. Okay, right, next thing, I'm going to put this in blue here so we could summarize it at the end. I'm going to go into the next thing. The next thing to do, which is more work, all right, but it's definitely worth a shot, is the cover. Change the cover. Now, you know the saying, never judge a book by its cover. Well, on Amazon, everyone judges a book by its cover. You think people are just scrolling Amazon, they don't know you, they don't know what's inside the book. They're going to buy your book based on the cover. We're going to the title in a sec, but we're going to buy your book based on the cover. So you want to make sure your cover is well done. Here's some simple tips for your cover. Just think typography first. Well, at this point, you've already got the title of the book. Okay, you can't change that. Although I'll give you some tips in a minute about the title. You can't change. You're stuck with that title. So you may as well make sure that someone can read the title. Now, again with the title, the typography, the cover. Again, you want them to see the benefit, you want them to see the features, everything as clear as day. Clear. Okay? Remember, they're scrolling. They want to know what your book's about, what it's going to give them, and they want to know fast. Because they're going to see the cover, they're going to think, that book's for me. They're going to see the price, they might see reviews, and then buy it. You know, just think again, how did you decide to buy the last book when you just cold bought it? Like, you saw it and you just thought, I'll have that. Okay, just think in terms of that. How can you show that all on the cover? Now, this is a bit difficult if you've done, say, a biography or fiction book where you've got one of those, you know, poetic titles that don't really mean anything to the average Joe, but it's the title of your book, so you're kind of stuck with it. Now, it's going to be a bit difficult there, but I would say it's freaking hard when you've got a title that's like that doesn't mean anything to the average Joe. I'm not going to lie, it's hard to sell that book because most people will scroll past it because they don't know what it is. Okay, the best thing you can do if you've got that is just make a title that you just want to lure them in long enough so your description can sell the book, right? Because if your title is I don't know, The Way She Lied on a Tuesday or something like that, one of them like romantic novels where the title doesn't mean anything, then you want to really sell it with the imagery. All you want to do is stop them scrolling and get them to look a bit longer at your book. That's it. So whatever you feel could do that to your customer, whether if it's one of them romantic novels and it's normally got some sort of saucy picture on the front, if your niche requires you to do like bold colors, like maybe your whole book cover's got to be red or something to stop them, just think about what would stop your customer in their tracks and use that. Okay, because you're stuck with the title, you can't change that. What you want, and if your book's not selling, then it's not selling because of the title and the cover, because no one knows what it's about. Then you need to stop them in the tracks long enough so they read the description and then sell to them in that. Okay, right. But for those that have got a decent title that kind of tells you what it is, like for example, activity book for teenage girls, it's blatantly there, the ultimate activity book for teenage girls. You've got a solid title, it's clear as day, then you really want to focus, make sure that the typography is on point, so it looks interesting. My rule with typography is interesting, 1 off 1. People get fatigued, you know, everyone sees the same sort of fonts on the day-to-day basis wherever they look, right? If they're familiar, if everyone, a lot of sellers on Amazon, KDP, self-publishers, a lot of them are using like bog standard Canva fonts. I've seen that, and it just looks boring, it looks dull. People have seen those fonts for years and years and years, so they're fatigued by it. There's nothing interesting about it. Their brain just switches off, they barely read it. So make it interesting, make it 1 of 1. If your typography looks interesting, it looks different, that there could pause them long enough to want to buy your book. Okay, we want to stop them in their tracks with interesting typography. Make sure it's clear. Make sure it's clear at thumbnail. Remember, most people are shopping on a phone, so make sure the cover clear thumbnail and it stands out. Contrasting colors, use that. You know, if your background's blue, use a yellow font, etc., etc. Okay, just make the cover look good. And the good news is, like, you can do this all in AI now. You could do a whole cover. I use Ideogram, but there's AI is just next level now. You can literally design a cover in minutes. So just look to do that, because then you could just try a new style cover in minutes. Then it takes away that friction. Upload it to Amazon, have it live like in a day or so, and let it run for like a week or two just to see if any sales, you get any sales, and then try another one, and then try another one. So because it's not much effort to you, so it's worth it if you've already created a book, because the actual book inside took the longest amount of time. So it's worth trying this. Okay, so that's the next one. Right, so we're going in order here, guys and gals. Description's the easiest to do. You can do that right now. Cover is the next one. It takes a bit more time, and I'm going to add here, this one takes a bit more effort, A+ content. Right, if you don't know what A plus content is, it's just say you got your book page here. There's your book with all the details. There's the price. They scroll down here, and then you've got them little boxes where it shows like the book and how it talks about how amazing it is. Those graphics. Try that out. Okay, it takes a bit more effort, but it's worth a shot. If you haven't got A plus content now, or you've got A plus content and you feel that you can improve on it from a copyright perspective, try that out. But same thing, revert back to what we said in the description. Think about your customer. Think about some sort of headline that sells the benefit of the book, and how you can get in the mind of the customer and put it in here to sell that book. And again, say everything you need to say, no more, no less. Don't go crazy with the waffle, because remember, everyone's scrolling. They want it fast. Put headlines on there. An amazing gift under $20 for teenage girls, or the best screen free break a teenage boy can have. Or if it's a fiction book, it's like a book that you've just created based on like something you want to write. Then write why this story or biography or whatever it is you wrote is amazing, why they're gonna have some benefit from it. Again, just like description, but this is like a visual description. Okay, so this one takes more effort, I think, because you can't just do that in AI. Like, you kind of got to design it in Canva, like the words, move them around. I haven't managed to do it in AI, so that takes more effort. So that's the next one down. So we're putting this in effort order. Yeah, let's just put it here, description. Like I'm going to put like the effort involved. Let's just call that 1 effort. This one's 2. This one's 3. The higher it goes, the more effort required. Okay, now the next one. Let me think. Is there anything else? No, I will talk about ads, but we'll talk about that in a sec on the side. Right, I think the last one here would be the most amount of effort. Is that the most amount of effort? It's not actually that much. I'd give it a 3 as well. It'd be to basically unpublish your book. Unpublish your book. Unpublish. And change title. Change the title to something clear. Tells them what they're getting. Yeah, this is easy when you've got like a non-fiction book, a self-help activity book, because you can tell them on the cover like life skills for teenagers or something like that, or how to keep your marriage romantic or whatever, self-help book like that, or how to make money like with digital products or something like that. Or if you've got the activity book, innit, it's just like ultimate activity book, amazing activity book, complete A to Z trivia of animals or something like that. So it's very easy to say. But if you've got a book that you've written that's that's fiction, or it's based on like it's a story you created, something like that, then it's a bit more difficult. Again, you need to think of the customer. Put yourself in the position of the customer. If you wrote a fiction book on, I don't know, sci-fi or something like that, and you're a sci-fi fan, that's why you wrote. Put yourself in their position, which should be easy because you are a sci-fi fan as well. Why would you buy your book without knowing who you are? Nothing. All you're doing is seeing the cover. Why would you buy it based on the cover? See, that's where you got to put your head in. What does it need to say on the title for you to buy that book? The title, subtitle. Remember, that's the bit that's going to get their attention. They won't see the description yet. Okay, so just the title, the cover design, the type of, just that on the cover, the title on the cover. What would it take to be on that cover for someone to get sucked in enough to check out the book and then buy it? Or just buy it straight away. It's got to be that good, okay? See, this is why it's difficult for those types of books. Easier when it's self-help, activity books and that, because it blatantly just says there, 500 trivia, 1,000 trivia. Okay, yeah, I like trivia. It's got 1,000, I'll buy it. See what I mean? Okay. So this one requires a bit more work because you're going to unpublish your book. Make sure you unpublish it first. Then you're going to re-upload it with a new title and a new cover. And you can do all the other stuff as well. Okay, so these are the 3 things. 3? Was that 4? 4 things you can do right now. Let me just quickly summarize and I'll talk about ads and niche as well. We're going to talk about 2 more things. But if anything, you just want to give it a go right now. Just change the description. Leave it running for like 1 to 2 weeks and see if you get any sales. You never know. Okay, that's the minimum effort. Next is the cover. Change the cover, make it interesting, make the typography one of one. Make sure it's clear thumbnail, and just use AI. Again, that's relatively easy. Again, try it out, leave it running for like 1 to 2 weeks. Bit more difficult is A+ content. Think of it like the description, copywritten but a visual thing. Drag them in, show them the benefits, show them the features, see if that sells it. And then the last one, which takes more effort, is unpublish the book completely and republish it with new cover, new title. Again, you can do all of those as well at the same time if you wanted. I've done it as well. I've done it, and it's brought life back into my books, and it has worked. And those are the things you can do right now to turn your book sales around, start getting sales. Let me just quickly talk about, firstly, let's talk about ads. Just the honorable mention of ads. If you're not running ads on the book, then to be honest, that probably comes in before description as the easiest thing you could do. Because if you're not doing ads, then it might not have even got out to enough people to see if it would actually sell. So just set up some ads. Amazon make it super easy to set up ads. You've probably seen it. Just start with an auto ad. If you know nothing about ads, just set up an auto ad. Give it like a 50-cent budget so it starts getting impressions and clicks, and just give it some sort of reasonable daily budget. So give it a good suggested bid level of about at least 50 cents, and then a budget of around, you could do $100 a day. You're not going to spend $100 a day, but it just shows Amazon that you're willing to spend that, but you won't spend it, but just give it a decent amount. Okay, and the idea of this ads is to get impressions. Make sure you're getting impressions so you know it's being shown, and then make sure it's getting clicks so you know people are actually clicking on it. If you're getting impressions and no clicks, then it's definitely something to do with your cover. And if you're getting clicks and no sales, then again you need to go back through these again and start changing them, because people are clicking, not buying. There's a reason they're not doing it, and it's worth trying these. Now I'll leave the most important thing till last, the niche. Okay, niche. Whilst all these things here are worth a shot because you've already put in the work, you've already got a book that's selling, if your niche is rubbish, then all of this will be for nothing, to be honest. Okay, and what do I mean by that? If there's no demand in your niche. And how do you know if there's demand in your niche? Quite simply, there's other books pretty similar to your books that are selling right now. If there's other books similar to your books that are selling, let's just write that. Similar books selling, then you know at least you've got a chance. Similar books selling. At least you know you've got a chance of making sales. Your book's just got to be good enough to take those sales. If there's no other books selling, and I know a lot of authors just create books because they just want to be creative and create, but there's nothing like that out there. That's very high risk, because there's no market there to say that you will actually make any sales. And a lot of authors get stuck in that position where they get release books and they're not making any sales because no one knows, there's no market there. Okay, they're trying to create their own market. Yes, the biggest selling authors in the world have created their own market, like J.K. Rowling or something, Harry Potter or something like that. Even then, though, she was basing it on fiction, going back to like, Lord of the Rings. There's still a market for fiction, but it's very high risk. I've seen from my experience, from the people that I've spoken to, very high risk that, because there's no clear market there that you can tap into, like a senior's crossword book. There's senior crossword book selling, and yours is a senior crossword book. Others will see it and think, okay, that looks like a nice title, let me just buy it. Okay, whereas where it's a book about, there's other factors involved. It could be a fiction, could be a deep storyline that's slightly different to Harry Potter, but it's similar in the sense that it talks about magic and kids and stuff like that. People are a bit, they're not sure. If they're not sure, then you don't make sales. Whereas with a crossword book, everyone kind of knows what it's about. Yeah. Okay. So there you go, guys. And gals, try that first in that order and see what you can do. But like I said, the niche is very important. If you want my niche guide, by the way, I've got a free niche guide on how to pick a good niche in less than 15 minutes. I can't send it to you here on YouTube, but hit me up on DM me on Instagram, the word niche, and it will automatically send you the link. Okay, I highly recommend that, because when you can pick the right niche, sales come a lot quicker. When you're in the wrong niche, you struggle. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.